Hey, what's going on everybody? I am The Lone Wolf and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we of course are continuing the Farming Simulator in-game garage tour with tillage equipment. This includes anything from cultivators, to plows, to subsoilers, to discs. So, we will start way back with the cultivators, then we'll move to plows, then discs, and finish off today with subsoilers. So we just gotta hop off the signpost. But first, I gotta show you, HU Square Studios just recently released his new update, the Hope Truck, for his TLX update. Oh my goodness, does that look awesome. He's got the Hope on the side with the logo, and then he's got the logo on the hood that says Faith, Hope, Cure. Must you make so much noise, please? Then he's also got the diesel version right here, 6.7 tuned. Well, yeah, let's move right into this video. And obviously, there's a lot of tillage equipment. I was wanting to use this thing where I would go into a bigger map and then do like a swath of tillage with each implement, but I already tried that once, and it took me like over an hour, so that was, not gonna work. But, where do I start? I'm trying to find the first one. Oh, here we go. We start with this right here. This is the smallest and the cheapest. This is the RAW Polymag. This is the cultivator that you get when you start the game on New Farmer, on Ravenport, and Felsbrunn. If you go into cultivators, it is the first one. It is the RAW Polymag 300. It starts at $7,000, requires 74 kilowatts and 100 horsepower. Is 3 meters wide, so not that bad. 9 mile per hour max working speed, and can be used alongside the Sewer SB700. Now, with the weight attachment where it says like you can use this alongside it, that is just recommended because of the fact they are, I don't know, I guess you can say taking the comparison of what tractor would normally be used on a cultivator this small and saying you're most likely going to need a weight for it. Because if you use this on, or with, like, a 7R or something, that's definitely not going to need a weight, because this thing is, like, huge. But, if you're using it on something that they're expecting you to use it with, like a Valtra, or the Fendt 500, they're going to want you to use a weight just because of the fact that the cultivator is going to put you putting a lot of weight on the back end. So you might need a little bit of front end weight. But yes, this, no extra configurations for the RAW Polymag 300, so $7,000 is the total price. This, you can see it's got two rows of the ripper teeth, one row of staggered disc blades, and then a, looks like a spiral or a helix cage roller, dual cage roller. Now we move on. The spawning of these implements kind of was screwed up, so it's not going to be in order in the shop, but it will be in order the way I'm giving it to you. Now we move on to the Kuhn Cultimer L300. Pretty much the same exact thing, only with Kuhn, because a lot of people I've heard don't like using the RAW one, because it wears out really quick. But this one I like a lot more, because I'm used to Kuhn. I use Kuhn a lot in my worlds here on Farming Simulator. This is in the second slot. It is $16,000. It requires 88 kilowatts and 120 horsepower. Is 3 meters wide and can be used alongside the Agco 1100 kilogram weight. No extra configurations. I don't think there are any extra configurations for any cultivators. There are a few for plows. I don't really think for discs and subsoilers, I don't believe either. So plows are the only ones where you'll see, I think, different prices. This one, as you can see, it's got 3 rows of ripper teeth. Again, 1 row of staggered disc blades, and then 1 large cage roller. And now, the reason why this is set up in this way, gosh dang it, I keep walking on the Lemkin and it's screwing me up. The reason why these are set up this way, the ripper teeth are supposed to be like knives. They tear into the ground and leave big gaps with big mounds of dirt that are left there. So that's partially tilled. You can technically make do with that, but they add the disc blades back here, which, as you can see, they're offset, so that will, and in the middle here, so anything that this happens to miss, this will break it up and break those mounds down into pieces. And then finally, if anything is left that is large on the surface, this heavy steel cage roller will be rolling as you're going over the ground, breaking anything that is left behind. Now we move on to this good pair of cultivators. These are the Stara Fox and the Stara Laser KS. I'm going to be looking at these at the pretty much right after another, one after another, just because they're so similar. The first is the smaller one on the right here, which is the Stara Fox 11. It is $24,000, requires 96 kilowatts and 130 horsepower, can hold 585 liters of seed, is 3.7 meters wide, so just a little bit bigger than the Rao and the Coon. 9 mile per hour max working speed, can hold seed, which can range from grass, oilseed, radish, and canola. $24,000 is the total price because of no extra configurations. This one is the Stara Laser, which is just past it. It is the ASA Laser CR DCR13. It is $28,000, 162 kilowatts, 220 horsepower, 845 liters of seed can be held in the tank. 4.9 meters wide, so this is actually significantly larger, over a meter wider. 9 mile per hour max working speed, can hold seed, which once again ranges from grass, oilseed radish, and canola. We'll first look at the Fox. This has one, like, I guess, offset row of disc blades, parallel disc blades, or perpendicular if you compare it to the ground. 2 rows, I think. Is this 2 rows? Yes, 2 rows of deep cut ripper shanks. These look like they're about 2 feet long. One's back here. This one looks even longer. And then, of course, you have, once again, your dual cage roller here. And as you can see, I would like this cage roller because you can see it kind of twists the bars around it, where this is all straight. And this one is pretty much the same. This has got the 1 row of disc blades, except these are not offset. This has got 2 more, these 2 rows of ripper shanks are closer to each other, and then you've got 3 section cage roller. And of course your seed would go in here and you would plant away. Next we move on to the Horse Tiger. I believe this is the next one. This one is only a ripper. I believe the rest of these are rippers. This is the Horse Tiger 6DT. It is $39,000. 221 kilowatts and 300 horsepower are required. 6 meters wide, so once again a significant jump up from the Stara Asa Laser. 9 mile per hour max speed, and this is a very nice digger or ripper, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of very deep ripper shanks, and it's got, I think, 4 disc blades on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 disc blades. This is kind of supposed to be like markers, so you'll have the 4 rows as you're going down the field. Next we have this. This is I think it's an Amazon. Yes, it is the Amazon Cineus 8003 2TX Super. It is $68,000. 294 kilowatts and 400 horsepower are required, so actually a bump up of horsepower there at that time. 8 meters wide, so again another 2 meter gain on width. 9 mile per hour max working speed. No extra configurations are available, and this one is very similar to the Horse Tiger. I'll just try and stand here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of ripper shanks, a set of offset disc blades that are kind of jagged. It's kind of cool. And then you've got your cage roller on the back. This is almost like a pizza cutter cage roller. I know there's a specific name for it, but I'm sorry about that. I don't know a specific name. It is a type of cage roller. Next, we move on to, what is it? I hope it's the right one. Yes, it is. Good. See, when I spawn these in, some are smaller than the other, so I really got screwed up with the ones that I spawn in. So some of them didn't spawn in the right spot. So we're not going to be going in complete order of the way that it's in the shop, but we will be going in order as it is in the digital menu. Now, this is the Horse Cruiser 12XL. This is the big horse the big horse ripper. This one is $89,000. It requires 368 kilowatts and 500 horsepower. So you can see just from the Horse Tiger, we've jumped up 200 required horsepower, 12 meters wide. So that actually doubles the width as well. 9 mile per hour max working speed, and we will try and look at this. I'll just try and jump on this Bednar one here. This has got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of ripper shanks, 1 row of jagged disc blades, all the same. They're all facing the same direction, and a set of 2 offset disc, or not disc, but cage rollers. Now this one is very cool. It folds down at this hinge here and this hinge here, so you got 2 wings, but then you can see there's an extra bar. This actually folds out to make it much wider. Now we move on to this. This is the Bednar. I think the model number's on it, but it might not be. This is the Swifter SM18000, I believe. SM18000. Where is? Here we go. $120,000. So another big jump up of price. 368 kilowatts and 500 horsepower. No change in horsepower. 18.2 meters wide. So 6 meters gained. Actually over 6 meters. Nothing extra. But this is actually a very interesting ripper. This has got an insane amount of ripper teeth. I have no idea how many rows. I think okay, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, but it's so wide that it goes what the heck? Okay, it goes all the way down this wing, all the way down that wing. We've got some looks like stock stompers, but I know that's only on corn headers, so that's what that is. And then you've of course got the cage rollers on the back. I'm gonna see if I can get out of this without jumping. Okay, there we go. Now we move on. Why do I have a telehandler thing here? I have no idea. Whatever. Now we have the Flexicoil. This is the ST820. This is the biggest cultivator in-game, I believe, in Farming Simulator 2017 as well. If that was a in-game one. It might have been. When I played on Farming Simulator 2017, I never really got that big. I usually did small-scale farming. But this is $186,000, so $60,000 jump up from the Swifter. This requires, once again, 368 kilowatts and 500 horsepower. 24-meter working width, so quite a big gain. Once again, 6 meters. And 9 mile per hour max working speed. Now, this one is insane. It folds out here, here, and here. So that gets extremely wide. And this one has, looks like 3 rows of ripper teeth and a weird looking harrow back here. You can see these things are on like springs right there. So that means that every time that it gets pulled back by a piece of a clod of dirt, it will whip back down and break the stuff in front of it. So that's why you usually want to have the harrow start outside the field so that it can start beating the dirt without missing some at the edge of your field. So that concludes cultivators. Now we move on to plows. Here we have the Salford. This is the teeny plow. It's only like 2 meters wide. It is very small. Great for small scale farming. Awful for medium and large scale. This is the 4204. It is $13,000. It requires 63 kilowatts and 85 horsepower. 2 meters wide. 7 mile per hour max working speed. And all of these require 7 miles per hour to run. This one does not have any extra configurations, but I do assure you some of these actually do have extras. And this one, as you can see, it's only a one-sided plow, so you cannot turn this one, but it actually has some discs to rip the ground, and then, or as like a starter. So once the dirt is pulled up by this, at the speed that you probably would be going with this plow shank, will lift up that little piece lifted up by the disc blade and then fold the rest of it over and get a nice big chunk of ground out. And then this one is kind of trailed, so that means that once you attach to the 3-point, this wheel will be on the ground and you'll just be kind of go with it. It will turn with it and it will articulate with it. But yeah, that's the Salford 4204. Now we move on to the Kuhn, or Agromass. Sorry, I always mix up Kuhn. I always call this one the Kuhn. It's an Agromass POH5. I greatly apologize for that. I am very sorry for screwing that one up. This is $14,000, requires 110 kilowatts and 150 horsepower, 2.5 meter working width, 7 mile per hour max working speed, and it's recommended with use with the AGCO 1100 kilogram weight. Now this one you can turn and switch a little bit. So 14,000 is the starting price. You can see the mold boards right there. You can switch the mold boards to slatted, which don't last as long. That's more for soft dirt. And this adds $2,000, making the maximum price for this $16,000. Now this is a turnable plow. As you can see, when you're using it right here, you wouldn't be using this top side. That is so that when you're going like this, okay, you have your tractor here and you're plowing farther out this way. And because, of course, you can just line up your tractor tire right here and you can mark it just perfect. But when you turn around, it's going to be backwards. Your tractor tire is going to be over here and the plow will be going on the wrong way and you'll have to worry about lining the plow up. That is where this comes in. You can actually turn this plow so it kind of twists and then turns and falls back into the ground. That is very helpful for plowing small or any type of field because it makes it easier and quicker just to turn around. Now we move on to, I believe it is back here, the one that I could not stop walking on and I hit my semi-truck against, the Lemken. This is the Lemken Titan 18. This is permanently used with slatted mold boards. That's why I don't like this one, or looks of it. It is $59,000, 221 kilowatts and 300 horsepower required for this plow. 4.9 meters, so quite a bit bigger. 7 mile per hour max working speed, and I don't think there's any extras. No, there is not. I like the style of it, how it is like, it folds up just perfectly, but I don't like the slatted mold boards like that. And this also is a turnable plow, except it's a lot easier. It just goes like, falls down, you lift it up, and it falls down on the other side whenever you want it to. Yeah, so now we move on to the bigger Salford. This one is my least favorite of the 3 big plows, just because of its design. It is very hard to store. This is the Salford model 83, I think 30 maybe? 8312, okay. It is $77,000. Requires 265 kilowatts and 360 horsepower, 6.2 meters working width, so a little bit bigger than the Lemken. No extra configurations are available for this. And as you can see, this one is a standard sided plow. It cannot be turned, but once again, just like the small 4204, it's got the starter disc blade here so that when the ground is lifted up, this can fold it over the rest of the way. Now we have the big one. This is the Gregoire Besson plow. This one is enormous. This is the 20 bottom plow, and whenever I say 20 bottom, that means it's got 20 shanks that are being used at once. So that's all the way down here into the second section and all the way down there. This one is very expensive. It is $130,000. This one is the SPSL 9. It requires 405 kilowatts and a whopping 550 horsepower. It is 10.5 meters working width. So honestly, look at that, 13,000 for over like 10 times the price. I don't think only having 5 times the width is worth it. I mean, maybe this one would be worth it, but I don't get that. 130,000, they should at least make it fold out farther so that you can get more done. Because 10.5 meters is very nice for plowing, but when you have a huge field like this one, that is not fun to plow. And especially if you're on like PC and you're playing on like 16x maps where you have the 400-acre fields, plowing, that would be not fun. So, with that, now we move on to discs, which are these right here, which we will look at starting from, where is that small one? Right here. This is the double T disc. This is the double T, big T, double T. Oh my goodness, that is an odd name. $13,000, requires 235 kilowatts and 320 horsepower. You look at that and you're like, what? That is the starting disc for disc harrows, where you look at the second one and it only requires 100. Wow, that is different. 3.4 meter working width, no extra configuration, so 13,000 is the price you'll pay. And this, as you can see with that arm folded there, this unfolds to be actually like an angle like that and an angle like that, so it will look a lot better. Now we move on to the Cultivator Qualidisc, which is this little one right here. It is $18,000. It requires 74 kilowatts and 100 horsepower. Is 3 meters working width, so smaller than the first one. AGCO 1100 is recommended for use with this Cultivator. And this one, as you can see, it's got 2 rows of jagged disc blades and a cage roller on the back. Next, we move on to the one that was offset up to here. I have no idea why. This is also an Agromats, just like that plow right there that I accidentally named the Coon. This one I always called the Agromats. That one I always call the Coon by accident. I'm sorry about that. This one is $25,000. It is the Agromats BTC50H. It requires 103 kilowatts and 140 horsepower. It is 5 meter working width, and it is actually unfoldable. 10 mile per hour max working speed, and can be used either alongside the AGCO 650 weight or the SB 700 weight, which is the sewer weight, SUER, which I will look at in a upcoming video. And as you can see, this has got offset, double offset rows of jagged disc blades. Looks like kind of a ripper here, but it's kind of weird. I don't know what that does. This is also a double cage roller, and when this unfolds, that is actually pretty close to touching that. So it looks like it would be way too wide here, like a gap in the middle, but it is not. Now we move on. Get out of the way. Thank you. Now we move on to this. This is the Amazon Catros, I believe. Yes, the Catros 6002-2. It is $31,000, 132 kilowatts, 180 horsepower, 6 meter working width, and can be used either alongside the AGCO 1100 or the Zunhammer SKE, which, hang on, let me see. I am lost with what Zunhammer SKE is. I know it's some sort of like tillage or planting equipment sort of thing, but I am not exactly sure. Zunhammer SKE, it's a slurry spreader. Okay, I see what that is. And this one, as you can see, has also got 2 rows of jagged disc blades and one of those pizza cutter cage roller things, whatever you call them. Sorry if I get that name wrong. I just don't know what it is. Now we have the Kuhn Disco Lander. This has got the coolest name of all of them, and probably one of the coolest looks of base game discs. This is $48,000. It is the XM52 Disco Lander from Kuhn. It is 162. It requires 162 kilowatts and 220 horsepower, 600 liter capacity, 6 meters wide, and can hold seed, which is just like those cultivators, the Star Fox and Laser. It can plant grass, oilseed radish, and canola. And this one, as you can see, it's got 3 offset rows of disc blades, and that is it. But it's perfectly, or no, actually it's got 2 offset rows of disc blades and another kind of pizza cutter cage roller. But now we move on to my least favorite of the bunch for discs. This is also from Kuhn, I believe. This is the Performer 4000. It is $69,000, requires 177 kilowatts and 240 horsepower, 4 meters wide, and can be used alongside the AGCO 650 and the Sewer SB 700 weights. No extra configurations for this either, but it is kind of nice design. If it was only wider, it would make it look very nice. This has got 2 front rows of finely jagged edged disc blades, has three rows of ripper shanks, an offset row of smooth disc blades, and a pizza cutter cage roller. Now we move on to the Vaderstadt. This, I believe, is a German branded disc, just from the name. This is the Carrier XL 825. It is $75,000 base price, 250 kilowatts, 340 horsepower, 8.3 meters working width. No extra configurations are available. Now, this has got one of the coolest colors. I love it. This has got a weird, if you know, like in old combines, they used to have, in the feeder housing, they'd have rollers just like this, that when the corn was fed into the feeder housing, that roller would be spinning to throw it into the shucker. Now you've got 2 jagged edged disc blade rows and an offset row of, or double offset row of cage rollers. Now we have the Horse Joker. This one is the Horse Joker. What's the name? The Joker 12 RT. This is $80,000. Requires 265 kilowatts and 360 horsepower. It is 12.2 meter in working width. 10 mile per hour max working speed. Can be used alongside the SB 1000 and the AGCO 1100 weights. $80,000. So not much more than the Vaderstadt, but quite a bit wider. This one, as you can see, it has 2 offset rows of jagged edged disc blades, and then right after that, it doesn't do much else. It just got the cage rollers right behind it. And this is 2 offset rows of cage rollers. And I know those aren't actually cage rollers, but I don't know the name of those either, so I just call them cage rollers because cage roller honestly sounds very cool. And now we move on to our last disc, I believe. This is the Lemken Gigant, or Giganta, or whatever you call it. Yeah, Gigant. This is the 12S 1600. It is $121,000, so a big jump from there, from the Horse Joker. 294 kilowatts and 400 horsepower, 16 meter working width, 10 mile per hour max working speed, and no extra configurations. And this one is extremely simple. It's just got the 2 rows of jagged disc blades with two outside smooth disc blades and 2 cage rollers rows. I mean, how much more simple can you get? Now, with this, how it says it requires 400 horsepower, it is true that it requires that, but my favorite tractor of them all to run on this is that right there. I mean, how could you get a better tractor to run on that disc than the John Deere 8R? It looks amazing when it's running it. Now, guys, we move on to subsoilers and power harrows. First, we will do power harrows. These are very easy. I will look at these at the same time. This is the Rabe MKE, and this is the Kuhn HR. They are right in here. The MKE 300 Rabe is $15,000. Requires 70 kilowatts and 95 horsepower. 3 meter working width, 9 mile per hour max working speed. Can be used alongside the AGCO 650 weight and the D830 Amazon Cedar. No extra configurations are available for this power harrow. The Kuhn HR 4004 requires 74 kilowatts and 100 horsepower. Can be used, is 4 meters in working width, and can be used alongside the DC 401 and the BTF 4000. I have no idea what those are. I'll have to look at that, and I might put it in the comment section what those are. But yeah, the Rabe has just a cage roller on the back and a little harrow inside. And by the way, guys, this is a cage roller. If it rolls and it's actually built like a cage, it's a cage roller. But if it's just a bunch of wheels like most of these things have had, I don't know what it's called, but I know it's similar to a cage roller. Now this has got the black teeth inside and this has got more like an aeration wheel on the, or aeration roller on the back. Now we move on to subsoilers. We've got, which one starts it? I think it's this one that starts it right here. This is the Double T Multi-Cultivator 5-in-1. It is $17,000, 177 kilowatts, 240 horsepower, 600-liter capacity, and 3.5 meter working width, 10 mile per hour max working speed, and can only hold seed, of course, because that, or fertilizer, solid fertilizer. So when you're knifing the ground, it can actually put fertilizer into the ground for you. Now this has 2 front rows of very finely jagged edged disc rollers, a little teeny row of fine edge, tiny disc rollers, a row of very deep, or a pair of deep cut rollers. Looks like 4 sets of 3 disc blades on the back there, and then little, I call these weasel rollers because there's actually something that you can do that, or you can use that can allow you to pick up walnuts. It's just like it looks exactly like this, except with a wooden stick on it, and then you just roll it over to the walnuts, and it just picks it up immediately. But yeah, I just call them weasel rollers because that's what that one is called. The little thing that picks up walnuts is called a weasel roller. Now we move on to these 2. I will look at these at the exact same time. Technically, all 3 of these. This is the Agrazime 4 shank. This is the Agrazime 6 shank, and this is the Kuhn 6 shank. These are all 3 subsoilers, although they only cultivate the ground, so I don't know what the point of them are. This is the Combi Plow Gold 3 meter, $7,000, 66 kilowatts, 90 horsepower. 3 meter working width at 7 mile per hour max working speed. The next is the Agrazime Combi Plow Gold 4 meter, $9,500. 103 kilowatts, 140 horsepower, 4 meter working width at a 7 mile per hour max working speed. And then the Kuhn 6 shank is the DC 401, $10,000, 96 kilowatts, 130 horsepower, 4 meters wide at 7 mile per hour max working speed. This can be attached also to the HR 4004 and the BTF 4000. Once again, I'll put those in the comment sections once I find out which ones those are. And as you can see, this has got 3 points on the front and back, so you can attach this to your tractor, and then behind it, I'm thinking that they're seeders. Hang on. H 4004. There's 3005. Oh yeah, right there. BTF 4000 and the planter. Wait a second. I got the 4004 one, but I don't know what the other one is. Whatever. I mean, at least I found out what those are, so I won't have to put that in the comment section. The BTF 4000 is a planter, so I'm guessing that the HR 4004 are also a planter or seeder of some sort. Next, we move on to the ones that I have not even gotten yet. I forgot to put them back into the game. We've got 2 more to look at. We've got these 2. These 2 are extremely long, but they're not that wide. This first one is the Bednar FB3000, TO6000, and the PT6000, which is $49,000 base price. It's 368 kilowatts and 500 horsepower required, 3,000 liter capacity, which can hold solid fertilizer, 6 meter working width, so like I said, very narrow. No extra configurations are available. This has 2 rows of very deep cut shanks, an aerator harrow, and the little disc blades at the back. Next, we've got this, which is also a Agrazime, just like the previous ones. This is the Agrazime Cultiplow 8 meter Platinum. This is $82,000, so in a huge amount of money more than the Bednar previous. It requires 309 kilowatts and 420 horsepower, 8 meter working width, 7 mile per hour max working speed. And this one, as you can see, it's got a row of deep cut shanks and a cage roller on the back. So that, guys, concludes our tillage section of our in-game garage tour. We have reviewed cultivators from the Rao Polymag over there to the Flexicoil, plows from the small Salford right here to the huge Gregoire Besson. Discs from the, where is it? The double T. The double T right here up to the Lemkin Gigant right there. I probably slaughtered that name. I apologize. And then Power Harrows, the Rabe and the Coon, and then the Subsoilers from the Agrazime 4-shank or 3-meter gold up to this, the Combo Plow. Thank you guys for watching. It is so fun making these videos for you. And once again, if this video hits 5 views, I will make another one. I apologize. I saw that the previous video had 5 views a little bit earlier. I just had some trouble making the video, so it's a little bit late. But thank you. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and if you want to receive all the next videos for the in-game garage tour and any mod reviews and DLC reviews that I will be doing in the future, please hit the subscribe button and become part of the notification squad so you receive all my videos as soon as they are posted. And thank you guys so much for watching. It is so much fun making these videos. Remember, breast cancer survivors and all who have not survived breast cancer, we keep them in our prayers. Being a person in a will you shut up? Oh my goodness. Being in a family that has had 3 cancer diagnoses. My mom had breast cancer, my grandma had breast cancer, my dad had brain cancer. 2 of them had breast cancer, obviously. So this means a lot to me that David from A2 Square Studios actually made this livery for both the trucks. I mean, thank you so much to A2 Square Studios. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Once this video hits 5 views, I'll be reviewing planting and crop protection equipment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Before this video ends, guys, I just wanted you to know that this setup right here, where I have the Hope truck, the gas engine, up on this rock, it took me like 20 minutes just to get it on this rock perfectly, because first I tried jumping it, and then I'd land on the other side, and then I would be upside down, and I had to reset the vehicle. Then I tried using a skid loader, it wouldn't lift it. I used a forklift, it wouldn't lift it. I used the front loader, it wouldn't lift it. So then I finally just used a telehandler, and I finally got it up there. It took like 20 minutes before this video started just to get this Hope truck onto this rock to make this look nice. But yeah, the reason why I have this little extra clip at the end of this video is because I would like to give some shout outs to people who I consider to be the inspirations of my channel. And any inspirations is just because like I have watched them before, or I know their channels. They do similar things as me. So all these people that I'm going to be listing off to you play Farming Simulator, and they are YouTubers that have practically made my channel possible. If I had not watched their channels, I don't know where my channel would be. So the top 2 shout outs go to Serious Mods, a YouTuber who plays both Farming Simulator and American Truck Simulator. He gave me so much advice on how to make my channel better, how to make my titles better, how to make my thumbnails better, and just pretty much overall advice on how to make my channel better in so many ways. But then there's the squad. He was practically the first Farming Simulator YouTuber that I actually watched widespread. I have watched every single one and liked every single one of the squad's videos, and I love them all. They are so amazing. I mean, he makes this game look like so many different games. He plays farming. He plays role plays like Dukes of Hazzard. He plays Haunted Camping, Millionaire Series, Billionaire Series, RCC, all that kind of stuff. And he has showed me that even if you're not just playing a game for the game itself, you're trying to be more immersive into all the different aspects of the game, that can be possible with any YouTuber. So after, of course, I get done with my garage tour, I'm going to try and be kind of like him. I'm going to start a series, but I'm going to mix some stuff in to make it even more interesting, more entertaining. Nick the Hick is another shout out to you. FS Club, Clutch Simulations, DJ Goham, Stevio from Squad Farms, Spencer TV, The Formal Pickle, or Jake, Millennial Farmer. Some of these are actually going to be real people in real life that farm, so they just kind of inspired me because my dad was a farmer too. So shout out to my dad too if you're watching this. I know you probably aren't, but shout out to you, Dad. Millennial Farmer, Cole the Corn Star, Welker Farms, Daggerwin, Chandler or the Rental Man Buck, A2 Square Studios, the man himself who made this truck, and even this trailer, A2 Square Logistics. And I believe that may be it. Oh, no. Whistling Diesel, the crazy man himself. I watch his channel and I get actually inspiration for stuff that I might do in my videos eventually, but not like in real life on Farming Simulator. But yeah, Whistling Diesel, shout out to you, even though you are probably the craziest person in the world. But those are my list of shout outs. I just wanted to give some recognition to the people who have inspired my channel. And outside of YouTube, outside of the farming world, I just want to thank my mom and my dad and my grandma. If they had not helped buy my PS4, which I am playing on right now, my controllers, my game, I would not have a YouTube channel. Because technically, what else would I do? I mean, I do have one video, but is not Farming Simulator, but I think gaming is probably one of the bigger communities of YouTube. So if I had not gotten my PS4, I wouldn't be able to be here doing what I am right now, right here, right now. I mean, thank you to my mom, because she has bought me many games, which I eventually will probably play on my channel. Thank you to my grandma for buying me the PS4, and thank you to my dad for obviously assisting in the purchasing of both categories, gaming, or the games, and the console itself. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to all you viewers as well. Shout out to my subscribers who have pushed me now over to 250 views almost. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Peace!